Welcome to the Bearcat Coaches Show. I'm Graham Simpson. Last week, the baseball team went 2-2 on the road. The Bearcats return home with their final 4 home games of this season. We talked to Coach Burke on how the team's performance and how the team is preparing to wrap up the home schedule.
We're here with head baseball coach Jason Burke. A bit of an interesting week down in St. Augustine. Unfortunately going 1-2 against the Saints, but going 2 for 2 on the week. If you don't mind just kind of going through your thoughts on how the past week went.
Yeah, I mean, just a disappointing week. I mean, 2-2, we felt like we should have done better and, really just didn't hit. I don't know what else to say other than, just couldn't get our bats rolling.
Unfortunately, as you alluded to, the offense not exactly clicking down in St. Augustine for the most part, but obviously you got 2 great pitching performances out of Nick Foray and Luke Johnson. Obviously, Luke will be named the freshman of the week, and it seems that the Lander baseball team is freshman U. I think it's 4 straight weeks, and 4 out of the last 5 that the freshman of the week has gone to a Bearcat. If you don't mind just kind of touching on their performances, both of them went 8 innings. Nick didn't let up a run. Luke only let up 1 earned run. So obviously, for the first 2 games, your pitching staff really put you in a good place to possibly get a win.
Yeah, I mean, both of them were phenomenal. Pounded the strike zone, and I don't know what to say about the Freshman of the Week awards. We're just we're racking those up, man. Just wish we could have got some more W's, and super proud of those guys. They went out there and competed hard, and when you're not scoring runs, sometimes it's hard to keep throwing up zeros. But I thought both of them, just did a phenomenal job of putting what they had on the plate over and over and over again to give us a chance to win both of those games. And again, I felt like we had a chance to do something really, really special this weekend and, climb in the standings and just couldn't do enough for whatever reason to make that happen. You come out of a week, 2-2, and, some people would say, well, you did okay that week. Again, I just felt like we should have had a better week than we did. And for whatever reason, just weren't really ready, mentally or physically, or maybe even both, to do that. But man, what a performance by Nick to shut him out. And then Sloper comes in and slams the door for us, and Luke goes out there and has some career highs, with innings pitched, and I don't think he had a ton of strikeouts. I think he had 4 or 5 on the day, if I remember correctly. But man, he was just mixing his pitches and absolutely pounding the zone. I mean, kept his pitch count down other than the first inning. Very, very low. I mean, there was tons of innings where he threw less than 10 pitches, which means he was just attacking them in the zone with what he had.
We've talked about him a couple times throughout the last couple weeks, but Lucas Martino seems to be developing his swing week after week. I think close to about 50% of his hits right now are extra bases. He had a triple, which put you guys in a good position in Game 1. He was pinch run for Caleb Singleton, and Bennett Noe scored him for the game-winning run and had a 2-run bomb late in Game 3 of the series. If you don't mind just kind of going through his progression as the year's gone on.
Yeah, I mean, I think, Lucas, got off to a slow start. I mean, he hadn't had at-bats in 2 years when he got here. And, I think the fall was like the spring. I think it was a very slow start from during the fall and a great finish. And, much the same so far this spring. It just took him a while to find his groove, to get more comfortable in the batter's box. And, man, he's got a ton of power. I mean, you can obviously see that with the extra base hits. He doesn't have to swing very hard to make the ball go a long way. The home run he hit at Flagler this weekend was backside. The triple he hit was to the pull side gap. And, man, the point I'm making is he can use the whole field. He's not a one-trick pony where it's, I'm going to pull, like a lot of guys are at this level. He can use the whole field very, very well. And he can run. I mean, obviously getting a triple, I think it's his second triple of the year, actually. Getting a triple is not easy. You've got to have some type of wheels to do that. And like you alluded to, I want to make it a point, we brought in Caleb to run for him. What a great read by Caleb. We get a quick out once we do that. We got 1 out instead of no outs. Got to be a little more aggressive on the base at that point. Noe hits kind of a routine-ish, ground ball to the third baseman, and Caleb's so fast and so aware and made such a good break and such a good slide that he's able to beat that throw at home, and ultimately that was the winning run. Ultimately that's what won us the game, and I talk about it all the time with our guys, but small things can be a major difference, and Caleb's speed and ability to read that play, ultimately won us that game. But you're not in that position without the pitching performances like we just spoke about.
Obviously, the rest of the week doesn't get much easier. You host Francis Marion, who always seems to play you tough, and then you take on one of the top teams in the conference, Young Harris, who's been hitting the ball quite well. How do those matchups pose for you coming up?
Yeah, I mean, Francis Marion's always a good opponent. They play us tight every time, just like you said. We played them, down at their park earlier in the year and got the better of them, but I expect them to come in here and play us a really tough game. They're hot. They're playing very good baseball right now. We need to be ready to go. And then we got to switch gears to conference play again. Wednesday and Thursday's practices need to be really good. Young Harris is going to be a very, very good opponent. You alluded to how well their offense is swinging the bats right now. They're a very good pitching team, too. They got a lot of velocity. In my opinion, they have the best velocity and stuff in our league. And offensively, they are clicking. They can hit the ball, but they can steal a ton of bases. I believe they're leading the Peach Belt in stolen bases. We may be second behind them, but I believe they're either in the upper 80s or lower 90s in stolen bases this year. So we better be ready to control the running game. We better be quick to the plate. We better be able to execute pickoff plays and keep them at bay when they get on base, because they can do it with doubles or bombs, or they can do it with stealing bases. And they're going to be a very tough opponent. I expect us to rebound well from this weekend. Again, did not have our best showing down there at all, but I expect us to be locked in and ready to go this weekend. And last year we had the lead on Young Harris in all 3 games heading past the 7th inning. Ended up losing all 3 games, and I expect the guys that are back from that to hopefully make it a point. If we get those leads, to make sure that we keep it.
Obviously, a busy week here at Dolney Stadium coming up. Tuesday against Francis Marion, and then a weekend series against the Young Harris Mountain Lions. Senior Day on Saturday. Hope to see you all there. Stay tuned for more of the Lander Bearcat Coaches Show.
You've envisioned it before, your future. It's big and it's bold. Now, it's time to make it happen. Our experienced faculty and friendly staff work to provide a personalized and supportive academic experience that most institutions cannot match. Lander University offers fast, flexible, and affordable online and graduate programs for those who want to launch their career path to the next level. When you launch with Lander, the world will take notice. Learn more today at www.lander.edu.
After a couple weeks off, the women's lacrosse team returns to action at Young Harris and Flagler this week. Hear from Coach DeShiel on how the team has been preparing for the final week of the regular season.
Here with head women's lacrosse coach Bob DeShiel. Coach, you talked about emptying the tank before the Belmont Abbey game. You guys sure did that as you guys came away with that 20-18 win. Then you guys had 2 weeks off, you were able to empty that tank to get that win. How's those 2 weeks been for the team?
It's been good. We've had a lot of really good practices. We've been able to get a little bit of rest in during the Easter weekend and just kind of recharge and have a good scrimmage day, have good practice days. So it's been good to get back on the routine now as we prepare for Young Harris and get back into scout mode. But we had a good week of practice leading up.
So you guys talked about that Young Harris game. You guys head there on Wednesday. Second to last conference game of the season, last road game. What are you looking for from your team after this 2-week break heading into that matchup with the Mountain Lions?
Just a lot of energy. We're looking for to get off the bus fired up and just motivated, knowing that we got a lot of our goals that we set in August right in front of us, right within reach in these next couple weeks. So we got to come out hungry.
And so on Saturday, you guys have a nationally ranked Flagler team, a game that could potentially decide who hosts the Gulf South Tournament and a share of the conference title on the line. What's your message to the team? Obviously not overlooking the matchup with Young Harris that could negate all this, but exactly, yeah. Going into that game on Saturday.
So exactly. We want to stay focused and take care of business on Wednesday, but going into Saturday, we face nationally ranked teams all season long, so just staying focused and we've been prepared for this moment. We've known all year that this is going to be one that really decides the Gulf South standings, and so they're hungry. They're looking forward to it. But we got to take care of business first on Wednesday.
All right. Coach, thank you very much. Best of luck this week. We'll be right back with the Bearcat Coaches Show after this.
Open since 1959, the Dixie Drive-In is home to the Dixie Cheese. A short-order restaurant with a family-friendly atmosphere, the Dixie Drive-In offers comfort foods like burgers, fries, and sweet tea. Located across the street from the Jeff May Complex, at 600 Montague Avenue, be sure to plan your post-game meal at the Dixie Drive-In.
The 11th ranked men's tennis team dropped a heartbreaker to number 9 Flagler last week. We caught up with Coach Simpson as the team prepares for the Peach Belt Championships this weekend.
Here with head men's tennis coach Brett Simpson. Coach, last week, 2 ranked opponents you had to face. Got a nice 5-2 win over Limestone midweek, and then a tough loss to a top 10 Flagler team. A little weird, started on Thursday, finished it on Saturday, something you don't always see. But tell us a little bit about the team's performance against, obviously, a tough schedule last weekend.
Yeah, so we started off with Limestone, who are ranked in the 40s nationally. They're a pretty good team, so it was a solid performance. I thought we went there. It's always tougher playing away, and we went there and we took care of business and played well. They're a good team. And obviously the big match with Flagler that began on Thursday, and we played a couple hours and then rain and had to wait a day, and then we ended up resuming the match Saturday morning, and we ended up losing a tough 4-3. We had chances, obviously, and the match could have gone either way. It's disappointing to lose, but now we just look ahead.
Yeah, so obviously Flagler wrapped up the regular season. This weekend coming up, team heads to Columbus, Georgia for the Peach Belt Championship. You guys right now open up with Georgia College on Friday. Talk a little bit about the matchup with the Bobcats.
Yeah, they're a good team. They're coming in hot. They've just had a couple of good wins. We played them obviously a couple of weeks ago and we did win, but the matches were tough. So we've got our hands full for sure. It's going to be a really tough match. We're going to have to, be on to get the win.
And obviously postseason, every match is important. Right now, you're fighting for seeding in the NCAA regional. You pretty much unofficially locked up a spot in the region, but still have a chance to get one of the top 2 seeds to host the first round. How is the team playing heading into the postseason?
Yeah, we're currently 3rd on the NCAA rankings for the region. So if we can get a win against Georgia College, we'll probably get a rematch with Flagler, and the winner of that match would probably host a regional. So we're still in with a great shot. But we've got to win our first match first, and then if we do that, Flagler's going to be a very tough opponent. But we're in an okay position. We just got to hopefully, now it's the business end of the season, and try to play our best tennis.
All right. Well, Coach, thanks for joining us, and we'll talk to you next week. We'll be back after this with more from the Bearcat Coaches Show.
If you're looking for a place to enjoy good eats and good times, look no further than Sports Break. Great food, friendly service, and a fun atmosphere have been on the menu since 1990. So bring the family by for lunch, stop in to watch a game, or enjoy a late night with friends with some cold drinks while listening to live music at Sports Break.
Women's tennis went 1-1 in conference play last week. Hear from what Coach Allison had to say as the team prepares for their conference championships this weekend.
Here with women's head coach, Coach Allison. Last week, a little crazy. Obviously moving up the Georgia Southwestern game one day, kind of last minute because of weather. How did you think the team was able to handle the adjustment last minute like that?
Yes, so we played Flagler earlier and then Georgia Southwestern early, and the team did well. I think, we've been preparing all season, and we knew Flagler was going to be tough, and then we knew Georgia Southwestern, we just had to do routine tennis, and it was good to see some other girls be able to play as well, and we got the W, so we were excited. It kind of clinched us being 5th in conference, which is better than last year. So really happy with that going into conferences this weekend.
You talk about the conference tournament. You got that down in Columbus. Obviously, like you said, you're the 5 seed. How do you feel about the team heading into the conference tournament? Are you healthy?
We're not 100% healthy, but I think yesterday the girls really fought hard, and they understand that we only have a couple days left, and they're ready to just lay it on the line and see what happens, and then really focus on the summer. And rest is coming, so we don't want to have any regrets. And I think they fought really hard and had that mentality yesterday. So if we can keep that mentality, I think that we will go toe to toe with Georgia College.
Okay. Well, Coach, good luck this weekend, and we'll be cheering for you. We'll be back after this with more of the Bearcat Coaches Show.
Break on the Lake offers a menu loaded with a wide range of delicious seafood and steaks, along with an amazing selection of handcrafted cocktails. From appetizers to soups and salads, Break on the Lake's food is served with an intimate space perfect for a cozy meal with family or a quiet date night. Whatever you're here for, you can always count on Break on the Lake for fresh seafood and a warm welcome from their team. Thanks to Sports Break and Break on the Lake, proud sponsors of Bearcat Athletics.
The men's lacrosse team traveled to Florida and claimed a 13-8 victory to clinch a share of the PBC regular season championship over Flagler. We talked to Coach Laporte to get his thoughts on the win and the first championship in program history.
We're here with head men's lacrosse coach Tony Laporte. First off, big congratulations. First conference championship in the books, regular season, after beating Flagler. A really tough matchup down in St. Augustine. If you don't mind just kind of going through your thoughts, I guess, first on the first regular season championship in program history and what it means to do that with still a big bulk of the initial recruiting class here at Lander.
That's what makes it so special. The first class, so many of them are still here now as fourth-year players, as seniors, and getting to do all this together. What a incredibly just fulfilling. I don't know. There's really, it's difficult to put into words and to sort of describe the feelings and the emotions, on the team and with the guys, those guys in particular. Just thank you to them and to our university for supporting us, and to their families for their continued support. And it was just a really tough game. Flagler is a very good opponent, very talented, and that's a hostile environment. Conference road win, it's never an easy thing to do, and the guys rose to the occasion. Great week of practice, and we did enough to win.
Obviously, in tough matchups, you need to have strong defense, and you got a career day out of Nicholas Page. He made a career high 18 saves in the cage. What's it been like watching him progress throughout the year? Obviously, probably wasn't the starter coming in, but he's definitely rose to the occasion.
He's continued to develop. I think there's two things here, aside from the hard work that Nick has done to improve his game. I mean, that's obvious. He puts in a tremendous amount of time, on his own, honing his craft. It's a credit to Coach Gifford, who coaches the goalies, and to the entire goalie position group. They are all very good, and they all push each other tremendously. The goalie competition at practice is unrelenting, and an iron sharpens iron, and we combine that with Coach Gifford's guidance, and Nick is really putting himself in a really great spot. Another thing too is, as it relates to his performance in the game, a lot of the saves that he was able to make were because of good defending in front of him. He was able to see shots, whether through contact or with from distance, because I felt like the defense, especially in the second half, did a really tremendous job of putting Nick and our entire team in a position to be successful.
Obviously, on the offensive side, a really good performance for Carl Wilcox and Nolan Oakey. Nolan surpassed 100 career points and ground balls, becoming just the second player in program history. Obviously still a young program, but what's it mean to have two guys now, with Adam Mather being the first one to surpass that 100 career point mark as a Bearcat?
Pretty cool, and talk about serendipity, getting your 100th career ground ball and point in the same game while your team wins the, share of the regular season conference championship. It's what he does, man. He's a tough player. He's great. I don't know. There's really no, way to really put it. He's a very good lacrosse player. He's a great teammate, and he's been playing at a very high level this year. And he's got great players around him too, which makes it. I won't say it makes it easy, but when you don't have to do it alone. He's just a really doing a great job. And what's been really cool too, and I've said this in the past, is he does a lot of things really well that don't show up on the stat sheet. And so we're very fortunate to have him here. He's an awesome guy.
Obviously this week a bit busier than most. You host nationally ranked Limestone, which is always good to put on your resume, to be able to host a nationally ranked team, especially one that's lying in the top 10, top 15, and then obviously you conclude the regular season with Shorter, a scrappy team that obviously their season hasn't probably gone as they've liked. How does having kind of two teams on two ends of the spectrum in terms of preparing, how does that kind of work out?
Well, the Limestone game is one that we're very excited about for obvious reasons. It's as we're getting through April and teams are starting to put together their NCAA tournament resumes, this is the type of game that you absolutely want to play. They're a very worthy opponent. They're excellent. Obviously, they're one of the flagship programs in Division II lacrosse, especially in the South region, and we want to play them. And we had a good game with them last year, and so the guys are excited about that. And then, of course, we have to conclude, our regular season conference play at Shorter on Saturday. Conference road game, like I've said many times, never easy thing to do. And they have improved. They have several wins this year, new coaching staff, and so we're not taking them lightly, and we just want to have a great week of preparation, so we can keep making sure that we want to be playing our best lacrosse in late April.
Perfect. Thursday, big game against nationally ranked Limestone. As Coach said, Saturday, regular season concludes on the road at Shorter. Stay tuned for more of the Lander Bearcat Coaches Show.
Welcome to Hamilton Park Apartments, your destination for luxury living in Greenwood. We feature studio, 1- and 2-bedroom apartments. And first-class amenities. We'll see you soon.
Lander softball picked up a huge series win over Georgia Southwestern this past weekend. We sat down with Coach Crawford to talk about the series win and about traveling to top-ranked North Georgia this weekend to finish the regular season.
I'm here with head softball coach Glenn Crawford. Coach, last weekend able to take 2 out of 3 from Georgia Southwestern, a huge matchup between 3 and 4 teams in the Peach Belt. 2 wins for you. Offense really showed out as per usual so far this year, as well as the pitching. Georgia Southwestern came in one of the top offenses in the conference. You held them to just 1 run and your 2 wins. How did you think the offense performed?
Well, number one, talking to our team about this weekend, there were a lot of distractions. Senior day weekend. Then you look at it, you got, we're 4th, they're 3rd, and how big of a series this was going to be. And coming in, I thought, the first game, it was definitely a pitcher's duel to about the 4th inning, and then we finally broke through and, got a run, and then I believe Emily Allen hit a 2-run homer, make it 3-0. So did very well there. Just made adjustments at the plate, and that's one thing we encourage our players to do all the time. Just make in-game adjustments at the plate at that time, and we did that and found holes and got some runs on. And then Taylor pitched great. Give up 1 hit, I think, or maybe 2 hits. I can't remember.
1 hit.
So it did very, very well there, and and it just started us off for the weekend. And it's when we're on and we do what we're supposed to do, man, we're a fun team to watch. So.
And then you talked a little bit about it. Senior day was Saturday. Had some big performances from some seniors: Logan Coward, Shannon Antonini, Barbara Cook. How proud were you of the seniors for senior day?
Seniors are our leaders and our lifeblood, so to speak, and for them to step up and do what they did is awesome. Shannon being a grad senior, and this is truly her last year, and stepping up and doing what she did both defensively and offensively. And Barb, I think especially on Sunday, I think Barb had got ups. I don't know if it was Saturday at a second game or Sunday, but she snagged the high ball and got up and saved a hit there, and a momentum changer. And Logan on Sunday had the game-winning hit, the run rule them, and so they all played a pivotal part into it. I know the kids, they came off the bench, even had good at bats. Jill had a walk, and So they all played very, very well, and I'm very proud of them, and they're going to be missed. So.
And of course, this weekend coming up, wrap up the regular season. You're on the road. Always tough challenge. Top team in the country, North Georgia. What are you looking for the team heading into this last series, kind of jockeying for position for the Peach Belt Championship the next week?
Yeah, I think if we bring what we did this past weekend with us this weekend, I think we'll have a fighting chance, and you know, we're going to have to play our best ball against North Georgia because they make you pay for your mistakes, and which they're number one in the nation. They probably do. So. But you know, if we get the pitching from Taylor and Cam and our pitching staff like we did this past weekend, and we keep hitting the ball, putting the ball in play, and making adjustments, and playing the defense, I thought our defense played really well this weekend too. And so we keep doing that, I think we'll be fine. And we'll you know, once again, it's going to be the battle. And at the last two series of the year is two battles, and you know, if we want to be at the top, we got to go play.
Yep. Well, Coach, thank you for joining us, and good luck this weekend. We'll see you next week. We'll be back with more from the Bearcat Coaches Show after this.
Dear college sports,
there's light at the end of the tunnel.
A return to normal, and all we love about sports.
You've instilled resilience, focus, and selflessness in us. We've put those lessons to work.
We've found strength and unity in each other.
You continue to take us places we never imagined.
You bring out the best in us.
So when we look forward, we see the light at the end of the tunnel.
We see a better world for all of us and for college sports.
That's all the time we have. Join us again next week to get caught up on everything happening in Lander Athletics.